Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited you're here with me today. My name is Cindy Lish, and I empower career changers and those returning to the workforce to find amazing jobs that match their current why. Okay, welcome back to part 2 of our 3-part series on LinkedIn and your job search. Okay, so last week we were talking all about how important that photo is and how important LinkedIn is because employers are looking at this, right? They're looking at your LinkedIn profile before they're deciding to call you in for an interview and certainly before they're deciding to hire you. Okay, let's keep going and let's talk about all the other things that are going to be important in your LinkedIn profile. So let's start at the top. First thing that you may or may not know is that you can customize that LinkedIn URL. Like what it says when people are coming to your page of your LinkedIn, how it's formatted. So when you're going to get it originally, when you set it up, it's going to have your name and it's going to have a dash and it's going to have a whole bunch of numbers and letters. You can actually get rid of those numbers and letters. If you go onto the main page of LinkedIn and you go up on the top right-hand side, there's a little pencil and it says Customize LinkedIn URL. All you need to do is click on that pencil, go to that box, and delete all the numbers and letters after that. It's slightly more complicated if you have a very common name and other people have the same name as you do. You may need to add a middle initial. You may need to put in maybe your zip code as the numbers afterward. Some simple numbers, but not your birth date, not the date you were born or the year that you were born, because we don't want to tell people how old you are right there on your LinkedIn profile. But this just cleans up the look. So when you are putting your LinkedIn profile link on your resume, on any other documents, it looks so much neater when it's like LinkedIn / and your name, rather than having all those numbers and letters after that. Okay, next part. We're talking about your headline. Please, please, please make sure you have a headline. Nobody knows what you're about without a headline, right? And when people see you in passing as they're scrolling through LinkedIn, they'll see your headline. Okay, when you comment on things, they'll see your headline. So not having them, people don't know what you're about, right? When recruiters are searching keywords to look for people that are in certain fields, no headlines, it's harder to find you, right? So don't leave that space blank. It can be the place where you're currently working, but legitimately, it does not have to be. Okay, I recommend choosing one of 2 different options. One being separating writing job titles, right? Like program manager / program coordinator / business analyst, and putting that there, or having a creative one-liner describing who you are. And that's also really helpful because it makes you stand out from the rest of everybody else that's out there. Okay, so decide what makes sense for you. Look at a number of others to get some ideas of how you're going to make your own, right? And what you're going to do to own this and make it something that belongs to you. Just be mindful that it shouldn't be too confusing, right? So you don't want to be a program director and an administrative assistant, right? The parallels, those are different levels. That would be confusing to people. So make sure that it's consistent as you're going throughout that. Okay. Other things. You want to put in all of your employment. Okay. The place that you work, make sure that if the company is listed there, that means that the company has a LinkedIn page. You'll find them as you're typing it in. Then you'll get the little icon, which is a hyperlink directly to that company. It just makes it look so much prettier. Okay. If the company doesn't have a LinkedIn page, it won't be there, and that's fine as well. And you're going to put your titles in. Now, if you got promotions while you were there, certainly put in the different titles and the dates, as long as they are touching that you never left the company, but you went from one position straight to another position. LinkedIn will put a vertical line on the side and you'll be able to see like, shoop, you had a promotion. So that always looks really great. You can copy the bullet points directly from your resume to place in all these employers to show exactly what you did, the value, the accomplishments you had at each and every job. Okay. Also include your volunteer experience. So put your volunteer experience there the exact same way that you would put your work experience, the bullet points, everything the same. And there's places for your certifications. There's places for your education. And by the way, also note that you can reorder some of these things. Go into the areas, there'll be 3 dots. When you click on the 3 dots, there is a reorder or 2 little arrows, one up and one down that says reorder. And then what opens up on the right are hamburger menus, straight line menus, and you can drag things and move them to different positions. Okay, so pay attention to that, right? So if you have a master's, your master's should be listed higher than your bachelor's. Okay, while we're talking about education, be careful about dates. I know that on job applications, you are generally required to put the exact dates for everything, but you don't have to put them on LinkedIn, right? You can have your education in there and you don't have to include the dates. So if your education happened within the past 5 years, include the dates. If it happened before that, just put the education and put the degrees, but leave the dates off. Okay, same thing with all the other extras, right? The clubs, the extracurriculars, the GPAs. If it's more than 5 years, it's no longer relevant, right? So be mindful of those things as you're going through that. The skills section. LinkedIn allows you to put 50 skills into the skills section. And I recommend that you do put all 50 skills. It raises you up in the algorithm of LinkedIn. So certainly you want to be raised in the algorithm. And then you can prioritize the skills in the order that's most important to the jobs that you are currently applying to. Okay, which also means that if you have skills from jobs that you're not planning on using in your new jobs, remove them, right? Move them down, lower them. The only skills that the viewer can see without clicking on see all skills is the top 3. So the top 3 are going to be the ones that are going to be the most important there. Okay. The about section. So you have a good amount of space in that about section. Please don't make it a boring history of your whole life. Make it exciting. Make it something where you use this as your marketing tool, showcasing what you have to offer. So people realize what they get when they hire you. Okay, if technology is important, if there are certain programs that are important, if they're looking for you to know Adobe or Storyline or any of those things, put all of that into that about section, right? Understand that this is you marketing yourself. So pay attention to that in everything that you're going forward. Okay, and people don't care what you were doing 20 years ago and how you got to where you are now. They want to know who you are now. And if I hire you, why are you totally amazing, right? Why do you stand out from all the other people that are applying for the job? Okay, a couple more things about the profile here. Ask for recommendations. Okay, on the bottom of your profile, there's space for recommendations. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go over to my LinkedIn profile, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see all these recommendations that people have written about me, right? Go and ask people for recommendations. So this is like, you don't have to wait until you get to the interview, hopefully get the interview, hope the interview goes well, and then hope they say, can we have some of your references? This is right up front, that when they're looking at your profile, maybe even before they interviewed you, that people are reading all the great stuff that they've written about you. So we definitely ask for recommendations. You need to be connected to the person in order to ask for a recommendation for them. But I would definitely ask for recommendations. And also on the bottom, you get to follow companies, you get to follow people, influencers, news, businesses, things like that. Certainly follow all the companies you are applying to. Companies are more likely to call you in for the interview if you are following them. Okay. Also, by following companies, by following influencers, non-controversial ones, by following your market, your industry, it will populate your feed, the things that are coming forward. Okay, the same way when you're liking certain things on Facebook and it populates your feed. So when it populates your feed, you're going to see more of the jobs in that industry. You're going to see more of the news. You will have the ability to see more of it, comment on it positively. We're going to talk about that next time. Positively compliment these things, speak about them, and have greater opportunity to get yourself noticed. Okay, I know there was a lot, right? Okay, so I hope you saw part one. Part three is coming up next week. I hope you found this really helpful, all about your LinkedIn profile. If you want some more help, pop on over to my website, cindylish.com. I'll pop the link below for to schedule a free discovery call with me, 45-minute discovery call to talk about how I can help you in your job search. That's absolutely what I do. I hope you have a super productive week. Always remember you're a warrior, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.